From Rajasthan, Mewar around midday, Maharana Pratap spotted, through the dust and the smoke of the battle, the war elephant of Raja. In the late 16th century, in the kingdom of Mewar, a hilly Rajput kingdom centered on the city of Udaipur in present-day southern Rajasthan, there lived a king named Maharana Pratap. He was the head of the Sisodia clan, one of the proudest Rajput lineages in northern India. He had been crowned king in 1572, at a moment of great difficulty for his kingdom. The Mughal Emperor Akbar, ruling from Delhi and Agra, was at the height of his power. Almost every other major Rajput house, the Kachwahas of Amber, the Rathors of Marwar, the Hadas of Bundi, had accepted Mughal overlordship in exchange for honours and titles. Maharana Pratap, alone, had refused. He had told the Mughal ambassadors that the house of Mewar would not bow. He had withdrawn into the rugged Aravalli hills with his army and his treasury. He had begun to live, in some ways, like a guerrilla king. And in the royal stables of Mewar, in those years, there stood a particular horse. The horse was a male, a Marwadi stallion, of bluish-grey color. He had a small white blaze on his forehead. He was tall and fast. His name was Chetak. Chetak was a Marwadi horse, a breed native to Rajasthan, famous for its inward curving ears that almost touch each other at the top, for its endurance in desert heat, and for its loyalty to a single rider. Marwadi horses, when properly trained, would respond only to their primary rider and would attack anyone else who tried to mount them. Maharana Pratap had selected Chetak personally as a young colt. He had broken Chetak himself. He had trained Chetak to respond to vocal commands. He had trained Chetak to rear up on his hind legs and strike with his forelegs. He had trained Chetak, in the unique cavalry style of the Mewar Rajput, to charge an elephant. This last detail mattered. In the Mughal cavalry, the senior commanders rode war elephants, enormous, armored, slow but devastating animals carrying steel-plated howdahs and a crew of musketeers. A horseman who could close the distance to an elephant and reach the howdah was very rare. The Mewar Rajput had developed a specific maneuver. They would train a stallion to leap up and place his forelegs onto the elephant's trunk, allowing the rider to thrust a spear into the howdah at close range. Few horses could be trained to do this. Chetak could. In the early summer of 1576, the Mughal Emperor Akbar dispatched a large punitive army against Maharana Pratap. The army was commanded by Raja Man Singh I of Amber, a Rajput general in Mughal service, head of the Kachwaha clan, and the Imperial General Asaf Khan. The army numbered, by the Mughal chronicles, around 10,000 troops, including a regiment of war elephants. Maharana Pratap had only about 3,000 troops. He chose, as his ground, the narrow yellow soil pass called Haldi Ghati, a saddle in the Aravalli hills about 40 kilometers north of Udaipur. The pass is so narrow that the Mughals could not deploy their full army at once. They would have to enter the pass in column, one regiment at a time. Maharana Pratap, on Chetak, took position at the front of the Mewar line. He wore steel armor. He carried a long Rajput spear and a curved khada sword. On the 18th of June, 1576, the Battle of Haldi Ghati began. The Mughal column entered the pass at dawn. The Mewar line attacked them head-on. Within the first hour, the pass was filled with the sound of metal on metal, of horses screaming, of men dying. The Mewar troops, despite being outnumbered, held the pass for the first half of the day. Around midday, Maharana Pratap spotted, through the dust and the smoke of the battle, the war elephant of Raja Man Singh I. The elephant was massive. It carried a howdah of steel plates. Man Singh sat in the howdah, directing the Mughal attack. If Maharana Pratap could reach the howdah, the battle might turn. If the enemy commander fell, the Mughal column would lose cohesion. Maharana Pratap commanded Chetak. The stallion went forward at a gallop. They cut through 3 or 4 ranks of Mughal infantry. They reached the elephant. Chetak, exactly as he had been trained, reared up on his hind legs. He placed his forelegs onto the elephant's trunk. He stood, for one impossible moment, with his entire weight balanced on the head of an enriched war elephant. Maharana Pratap, from this elevated position, hurled his spear with all his force into the howdah. The spear struck the howdah. It missed Man Singh. It killed Man Singh's mahout, the elephant driver who sat at the elephant's neck. The mahout fell from the elephant. The elephant, panicking without its driver, lashed its trunk back and forth violently. The trunk caught Chetak across one of his hind legs. The leg was nearly severed. Chetak, with his rider still in the saddle, collapsed away from the elephant and onto the bloodied earth of the pass. Maharana Pratap was now in mortal danger. His horse was gravely wounded. He was surrounded by Mughal soldiers. The Mewar troops behind him were too far back to reach him in time. Chetak, with one back leg almost severed, bleeding heavily, stood up. He had been trained, since colthood, to carry his rider out of any situation. He carried the king out of the situation. He turned on his 3 remaining legs and began to gallop away from the Mughal lines. He was bleeding heavily. He could barely run. But he ran. He ran out of the pass. He ran for several miles into the hills, with Maharana Pratap on his back, with no rider in pursuit able to catch him. The Mughal cavalry, the chronicles record, was completely unable to catch him. Eventually, several kilometers from Haldi Ghati, Chetak came to a wide nala, a seasonal stream gully, at this time of year a dry trench about 12 feet across. He could not turn back. Behind him, Mughal cavalry was again approaching. Chetak gathered the last of his strength. He took the 12-foot jump across the gully. He landed on the far side. He carried his rider another half-kilometer up the hillside. And then he stopped. He lowered himself gently to the ground. He died, the chronicles record, before Maharana Pratap had time to dismount. Maharana Pratap, hiding in the hills after the battle of Haldi Ghati, refused to leave the body of his horse. His own attendants found him, hours later, sitting on the ground with Chetak's head in his lap. The Rajput king, who is described in every chronicle as a man of iron, who never wept publicly, wept openly for his horse. He gave instructions, before he was forced to retreat, that Chetak should be buried with full ceremony, in royal manner, on the spot where he had stopped. A small marble cenotaph was eventually built on the spot, the Chetak Samadhi, in the village now called Balicha, near Haldi Ghati. The cenotaph still stands. It is one of the very few monuments in the world dedicated specifically to a horse. The Charan bards of Mewar, the hereditary court poets of the Rajput kingdoms, composed an immediate ballad about Chetak. The ballad has been sung at Mewar courts for 450 years. It is sung today by Rajput families in southern Rajasthan when a child first learns to ride. The line that closes the ballad, "Ghora ne Raja ko bachaya, Raja ne ghoda ko amar kiya." The horse saved the king. The king made the horse immortal. Maharana Pratap escaped Haldighati on a different horse. He survived. He spent the next 21 years of his life as a guerrilla king in the Aravalli Hills, refusing to surrender to the Mughals, refusing to leave Mewar. He recovered most of his kingdom, fortress by fortress, over those 21 years. He died in 1597, of natural causes, at the age of 57. He had never bowed to Akbar. He had never accepted any title from the Mughals. He had remained, for every day of his rule, the only Rajput king who had not submitted to the Mughal Empire. His ability to do this, the Mewar historians say, would have ended on the 18th of June, 1576, in the pass at Haldighati, if a Marwadi stallion with a small white blaze on his forehead had not been willing to run for several miles on 3 legs. There are no statues of horses in most of India. There are very few in the world. The Chetak Samadhi at Balicha, the small marble cenotaph in the dust of the Mewar countryside, is one of the rare exceptions. Schoolchildren in Rajasthani medium schools, even today, are taught to memorize a poem in Rajasthani by Shamal Das, the Mewar court historian who wrote the Veer Vinod in 1886. The poem describes Chetak's leap across the gully. It describes the bluish-grey color of his coat. It describes the white blaze on his forehead. Rajasthani parents, when they want to teach a child what loyalty looks like, do not point to a person. They point to a horse who carried a king to safety on 3 legs, 450 years ago, in a pass called Haldighati, on a hot June afternoon in the Aravalli Hills. Tomorrow's story comes from another corner of India. Subscribe to walk with us through the folklore of every region, in your language.